amazing in the jungle. Bjergsen in mid lane, while Turtle at AD carry, and Lost Boy coming in at support.
And on the red side, for every single game this series, we're going to have Zanspot in the top lane, Crumbs in the jungle, Shifter in mid lane, I'm a QDP on AD carry, and of course, the ever-roaming Kiwi Kid on support.
Yeah, ever-roaming indeed. Our featured matchup we're going into here is we're going to see if Amazing and Crumbs can be all they can be in the jungle. Both have run into a fair share of difficulty this year, but an explosive game from one of these two could easily tip the series in their team's favor.
And Crumbs started the split so happy because he had those new solo lanes and he could play that supportive style of jungler where he was mainly just ganking and warding. But in the mid-season when things started taking a negative turn for them, he was still placing as many wards but not getting the assist gold from having any successful ganks, which meant he'd walk into teamfights without any backup. And that kind of has to change. Either successful ganks or a new farming style. And
going into this, we have to mention, and we've mentioned it before as well, Amazing has been limited by his champion pool. In the regular season, he was 15-3 on Elise and Lee Sin, and is 1-9 on everything else.
And those seem like really damning stats. Right. However, the good news is that even though his Jarvan didn't show victory, everyone can say he continued to get better on that champion. It's kind of part of his pool now. And also, Kha'Zix has reemerged globally, which will really increase his jungler pool and make it more difficult to ban him out. Dig said the win they had was from targeting Amazing, or the wins they've had, it might not be as viable anymore.
We will have to see. There's a lot to go around within this. Dig choosing red side all the time. They're not a team that really focuses on Dragon so much, so even lane swaps can really work to what they want here.
And I have some theories. I was trying to do a little bit of digging onto why Dignitas would pick it, and this is not confirmed or anything.
You didn't even know you did that.
It was Anyway, as far as one of the big reasons you pick red side is so you can counterpick your last thing. Generally across the league, that is done by mid laners. Something like 58% of all last picks on red side are mid lane. However, the two teams that do it more than anyone else are TSM and Dignitas, with Dignitas being #1. So I think this shows a really heavy emphasis on Shifter's matchup.
He usually is behind in the lane, even with that. So it's almost kind of like a comforting position for him that if you rock that boat, might go under quite quick. We'll see what TSM tries to do there.
And there's one other theory going around that we were talking about as the casters about why it could be a red side as well. There's a chance that they are thinking that TSM will use their first pick on a jungler, and then Dignitas can use 2 power picks on solo laners. As far as TSM, like using their first pick, they're very balanced in what role they pick it in. It's 20-some% for the 4 main roles that aren't support. They've never actually first picked a support this split. It just means that the super value of that first pick isn't that high for TSM, yet the value of the last pick is very high for Dig. We can say that before every game because it's going to be the same.
Yeah, no, it is true. That's what helps to do the homework.
Yeah, and look at how strange these bans seem. You notice right now not a lot of the power bans that Dignitas is throwing out, but more just targeted picks. There's definitely a Nunu ban coming from Amazing. That would have been another thing he's added. They're not really target banning out his jungle. They're target banning out Bjergsen a little bit, and they're hoping to get something big and powerful come back to them. TSM.
I was going to say TSM. I was going to say it. Pulling out the Maokai, will he do it? We talked a bit about consistency from Dyrus, and they'll put them on the tree. They'll be able to get to the laning phase quite easily and then be an impact with that Maelstrom ultimate later in the game in his crowd control. But what does that leave for Dignitas now? That's not a threatening top lane. That's not huge power to come out, so they can still kind of build whatever they want.
Yeah, they have every option in the world right here, it really seems like. The only thing is Zion will have to pick what he does against that Maokai, who is a bit of a dominating champion. Remember, though, it won't be as dominating as it was in the European playoffs. We are playing these playoffs on the 4.14 patch, which means Maokai has been nerfed in a few aspects. His ultimate now has a 10-second duration cap, so he can't hold it on forever.
Aww.
Poor guy.
Righto, please. So, seeing what Dig has here. There it is, locking in the Kha'Zix, second pick for these guys in their first run around. And it comes Kiwi Kid, gets the first pick support.
Kha'Zix hype right here for Crumbs. He's going to have to become a little bit more of a farming beast here, or he can just evolve his wings first and go for very extended ganks early on in the game. I cannot wait to see how Crumbs breaks this one out. And the Thresh is just a utility pick. that leaves plenty of options for Lustboy whenever he wants.
Lee Sin was the jungler Amazing was able to get his hands on when TSM got their win over Dignitas. The other times he was forced onto his Jarvans. That Volibear, this was the matchup where he played Volibear against Dignitas.
They did not go for the jungle bans because it's not necessarily
why do it
a full possibility. There were small nerfs to Elise and Lee Sin since the last time we saw TSM play. But them getting Maokai, Kog'Maw, and Lee Sin seems very, very much within TSM's wheelhouse here.
A lot of good comfort picks that these guys have at the top of their tier list. Wild Turtle will have a nice and aggressive lane as they level out on that one. Level 6 kill potential from him. We'll see what Shifter can put in the mid lane. What can roam? Target Bjergsen on the back line. Get past the crowd control of a Maokai. We always know Shifter to be a little lax in his early game laning.
Yep, he sits at the back of fights. He farms his lane very much so. But that pick won't be coming in until the final pick.
That's true.
So right now we're going to probably see their AD carry choice and their top lane choice. Would he go with the dog? Oh, wow. Man.
Have you seen this matchup?
The Nasus dog. I haven't seen it recently. I know that Zion Spartan used to play a pretty mean Nasus when there was just a bunch of tanks top lane. Would generally go like Trinity Force and get 500 or 600 stacks onto his Siphoning Strike, Nasus's Q, and just crush people with it. That will be his hope of neutralizing the low lane pressure Maokai. I can't wait for that.
This is pretty interesting. Team Solo Mids kind of has, I'm going to pick you off Assassin comp, a little bit of split push love from Dignitas here with Nasus in the top lane. They don't have too much poke from themselves, but they have the ability to create opportunities with the amount of grab they have. Thresh Lantern coming out. What's it going to lock down?
Syndra makes the most sense. It was actually a heavily banned champion against TSM because of how strong Bjergsen is in lane with it. I really just wonder what Shifter's counterpick to Syndra is. Xerath was one of his favorites later in the season.
Ryze was quickly banned out there. We saw that a lot with the Negatron cloak very early in the game. So that was a good move by Team Solo Mid. Looking at a possible Veigar AP counter.
Skara played a few Veigar games. Right now, Shifter's just doing an ode to Skara.
I don't know. There's enough.
Katarina and Veigar hovers.
Got to go Diana next.
Where is it? Come on, Shifter. No, really,
Didn't he play 3 times in a row?
Ziggs was tied for his most played during the regular season. It's actually what Shifter became known on. He was a Ziggs player before Ziggs became known, mostly. It seems like the most likely thing. It's a safe thing to get people low and potentially let Kha'Zix reset.
It'll be nice. They can definitely control the waves with the composition they have, and if anything, that can slow down the game for Dignitas.
Yeah, there it is. All right, I like the way these played out. There's some really unique things that happened here. Nasus and Kha'Zix, this kind of goes to show how long these teams have had off and how much can change in 3 weeks. Nasus and Kha'Zix have not been played during the regular season for Team Dignitas. And as crazy as it sounds, Dyrus hasn't played Maokai yet in LCS. He played a lot of it in solo queue, and hopefully he's had enough time now to train it up as one of his main champions, because Dyrus does take a little bit longer to master champions, but when he does, he's damn good at him.
Dyrus, the first time these teams faced off, said that Dignitas likes to pick strong lanes and try to win the game from there. TSM will pick the composition they want. They usually get it, but they don't initiate anything. They don't act on it. They kind of wait for it to happen. So 2 faults. We're going to see if they actually come out of these teams here in the beginning. They're loading onto the Rift. Let's see who you guys are predicting to win the game. According to LoLesports.com, 69% of you say that TSM will take this first. It's a best of 5, though.
Yeah, we're going to have plenty of voting opportunities in the future, including the ones on Twitter. Tweet at LoLesports, use the hashtag TSMWin or the hashtag DIGWin. And you can do that at any time. So you can wait for teamfight to happen, then just hashtag it afterwards once the momentum swings.
Indeed. On the end of that, Dyrus did say that with the strong lanes being the way that Dig tries to transition into the win, it's missing shot calling in that aspect. So Crumbs hopefully can pick it up in this one. They have picked the red side. Like we said, they don't mind if they do the 2v1 swap, but I think that affects Crumbs if they do decide to go for it, because he's one that likes to keep the jungle to himself and then come out and power the lanes.
Looking at the lanes, there's no need to swap them, so it will actually be a little bit of a dragon weakness if they do, because we don't have a Twitch in this game, which is typically the AD carry. People swap around. I think we'll see standard lanes unless these guys do something different.
We got 5 games to see something different, or less, if one team says differently. Lots of different there.
Different. Doran's ring start by
against
Maokai.
the Relic. Very nicely done.
All right, so just thinking about...
What do you think about?
I'm just trying to think about these team comps, because I was so just involved in the unique picks that they've had, but how are these fights actually going to play out? And these team comps are incredibly similar in the fact that you have a monster tank top lane,
yep,
wave clear long range mid, a jumpy assassin-y type of jungler, right? And CC laden supports. I would say though that Dignitas's initiation is definitely weaker than TSM's. So if this game drags into a bit of a split push war, TSM might hold a slight edge, unless Nasus gets going.
Power in numbers. They see TSM walking right away from this one. Not too shabby on that. Actually here we have sounds from Bjergsen during Champion Select, telling Dyrus a little info.
Dyrus,
what's up?
Don't feel any pressure to perform. Like, just because we pick your champion, it doesn't mean you have to carry.
You have not earned.
Well, think about that. They're putting pressure on TSM's first pick by opting to go red side every game. Yep. Obviously, the first pick blue side was TSM's choice. But whenever you first pick a champion like Maokai, with the way the pick and ban landscape is right here, he's banned in so many games, it does put pressure on Dyrus, but it's just a matter of not feeling that pressure.
It's different. If you haven't been in that situation, it kind of just something that goes over your head in the consideration of what's going on. Dyrus, though, getting a little relaxation from his team. See Bjergsen keeping the shot calling going.
It is going to be a Dignitas lane swap.
Yeah.
Right here. Avoiding the Kog'Maw Nami. And Dyrus is also really late to make his lane decision. So I imagine they're just going to 2v0 jungle here. This is a very classic strategy from a little bit earlier in the split.
Yep. Keep our eyes on how full they leave the camps. If they do, they probably won't be returning. But for now, they're going to take everything they can get and start soaking this up. Usually when we see this, now we see Kiwi Kid on the switch again. Kiwi Kid starts his roam very early, but this is not that different that he's going to be hanging out with Zion Spartan for now.
Let's see who this is going to favor. It's very different right here because TSM is double jungling, whereas Zion is deciding to 2v2 lane with Kiwi Kid. This could potentially stop an early dragon because they're going to have more potential defenders, but it's not necessarily going to help the farm of Zion. He should get pretty heavily denied on a siphoning strike early game.
I guess it works if they're really planning for the super late, but that doesn't play into the we need huge lanes kind of game that they think about. Let's see how that works out for Zion Spartan. 3 minutes in, nice bouncing bombs coming from Shifter as he tries to control the mid lane. So far, not too many waves to go to, but he is staying even in CS with that bully of Bjergsen in the mid lane.
Bjergsen will be a potent threat with Lee Sin ganks being able to come in from any angle. Definitely an early game power edge for the Lee Sin over the Kazakhs, but it's being a little bit neutralized by the fact that there is that TSM double jungle versus Crumbs getting it all to himself. Will eliminate the ability for Lee Sin to solo him early. There's Froggen's view on the pick and ban.
Right. Usually plays into the favor of once you get the first kill, you really act on it. You'll see more dives. Feel so comfortable on your champion. No summoners blown by either team, so we can still get full aggression here. But we didn't see anything at level 2 because of the lane swap. So Dig was trying to just get the game in their favor by a quick move, but it seems like everything's panned out.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, Lustboy is doing a lot of roaming here, so Wild Turtle actually isn't able to free farm that much with the threat of a Thresh.
Wow.
Lanes are being very even right now.
Shifter on point with skill shots, that's for sure. The HP of Bjergsen hurting as he keeps his CS up, like you said, quite even. Crumbs already starting to deny and add vision. Ward comes out as he comes out of base with a sweeper to start locking down.
And let's not underestimate the value of an early pink ward kill right there. Those things are supposed to last a while if you place them in the river that early. So a nice roam there by Crumbs, but will it cost him? Because that kind of telegraphed his jungle path here, and he's about to get collapsed on.
He just got seen actually by the minions in the mid lane, so they're able to move a little bit quicker. Crumbs gets slowed there. He's able to get a beautiful dodge on the Sonic Wave.
Yep.
They get out of that chaos.
Yep, so that's a fortuitous dodge there by Crumbs. He would have taken a whole bunch of damage. and now he gets to continue jungling.
So this is TSM trying to make moves. They're down a little bit in gold, so it'd bring that back up. But we've got to see how much they're leaving lane and not getting anything out of it just yet. Dignitas also not capitalizing on these mistakes. So both teams are trying. That's the part I like. You got to remember the last game these teams played ended at 20-20 in kills. So it could be a bloodbath.
I do like the fact, though, that Dignitas went with his unconventional laning strategy, just because of if Dignitas thinks of when they were successful during the split and when they were unsuccessful during the split, they won most of their games with strategies like this, where Kiwi Kid was freer to roam around without having to leave someone alone in a dangerous lane. Think right now, I'm a Cutie Pie's 1v1 against a Maokai. Not an extreme amount of danger there, unless Amazing goes up to gank, which he's going to be doing right now. But they won those games, whereas the standard laning phases, they lost 10 out of 12.
Quite a hard gank to grab here unless they can get it nice
Counter
and consecutive.
might be coming in from Crumbs.
There's the slow.
He sensed it.
Just going to go ahead and soak up a bit of experience as he walks back. Yeah, good sense on that one. Level 6 here for Cutie Pie. Dyrus says no thank you. And they pan it out to just being safe. Chalice built up for Shifter in the mid lane, 42-44. He did have the upper hand there. Starting to fall behind a little bit. No roam.
Generally even item choices, though. It's boots on one side versus more vision control from Shifter. I actually kind of like the fact that Shifter is the one taking some of the ward burden here with the pink and a green, instead of making Crumbs do all of it, knowing Crumbs needs a little bit more gold for his itemization on Kha'Zix.
A lot of teams like to shut down Shifter's blue as well. You can see where his pink ward just went down to make sure that doesn't happen. It'll be up in a few seconds, that 7-minute mark on the clock. Slow movement, no real ganks being in the back pocket of any of these lanes just yet. The junglers have all just kind of walked into lane just to save face. Still Kiwi Kid hanging out here in the bottom lane. He's got the relic, so it actually helps if you're not going to be getting Zion Spartan with that CS.
Yeah, this is tricky, you know. Wild Turtle level 6 has a ton of zoning potential.
Oh, yeah.
Yet Zion Spartan's CS is actually pretty respectable right now. 47 on Nasus. Only 60 damage on his Siphoning Strike, though, at this point in the game. So not exactly the pace he would prefer, but he is still at least getting gold.
We'll have to see what matters more when they hit those fights. Going kind of even on those tank lanes or having a little bit of trouble farming. 8 minutes, like we said, 50 CS, not too bad for both sides. Shifter starting to clean up the wraiths as he wants to get above Bjergsen. It's going to be a tough task. Bjergsen now knows that he can aggress with that huge level 6 burst. A full bar of mana and a little up in CS. Cutie Pie, no moves from him yet. Usually stays very, very quiet until you can get a good hook from his teammate Kiwi Kid to start these fights off. But since he's not up there, it's all day farming.
It is getting to the point in the game, though, where not having a teleport in the top lane is a even greater risk of losing the dragon. Darius will be up there, and if he can get a quick shove on the lane, they could very well try and force a 5v4 dragon. Maybe not because of the Ziggs, but it's still an option.
Look how that 2v1 played out as well for the AD carries. 13 CS ahead for Cutie Pie as Kiwi Kid's kind of threat in that bottom lane has stopped Turtle from getting all the CS he needs and would have been a 2v1.
Lost Boy's been mainly focusing on the vision control.
Yeah.
Getting a couple nice clears there, but another trend we got to keep watching for is a lot of the games over in Korea have supports not building Sightstone until very late in the game. Kiwi Kid, of course, already has his Sightstone completed onto Thresh, but we can see on Lust Boy, he's very much from that game style, and he's more prone to just building more pink wards early in the game and building normal sight wards instead of saving up for that actual Sightstone. It's more early vision control, but you're even weaker later. There's a gank.
Oh, Kiwi Kid gets kicked. He's going to be going down. This could be Dragon as well. A plethora of green wards covered TSM's inventory, and they've got it covered for Dragon now.
That's the reason Amazing was so free to run behind the turret right there, because they knew the location of everybody on the Dignitas side, and they knew that a counter gank was not approaching.
Well, actually, Dragon gets thwarted off here. They do get a good kill and dig, but it's going to be the team setting up for defense. Cutie Pie at level 8 right now, doing big things for himself. Staying actually leveled with the solo lanes here. He's 2 levels above Wild Turtle. The Vision Wars begin. You can see Dignitas favoring the pinks. Kind of being favored over by TSM now, but they have been just stacking the green wards. Stacking that vision. Crumbs giving a little bit of chaos
So
here.
he did evolve his jump first.
Yeah, right.
Which will give him a little less skirmishing power, but more mobility as far as ganks are concerned. The evolved W is just incredible because all the Kazakhs are maxing it nowadays. It's very difficult to hit without evolving it, so he needs to get generally close to people before using it if he wants to get his damage out on Kazakhs.
Well, Turtle feels like there's going to be a fight soon. He wants some Sheen damage over a little bit of protection. Sustain he'll get from his support. Hopefully a shield coming off of one of his teammates. They're going to go ahead and just farm bottom lane as they still are setting up for this dragon. Amazing. Wants a little bit more vision. He doesn't know he's hatching a ward in the death brush. Go ahead. He'll be known in his jungle path. Crumbs will go back knowing that things are safe for now as teams kind of figure out what move will be next. 1 kill for TSM. That's on a Turtle. He won't be using it too soon on Kog'Maw. He's got some time to farm.
If Turtle can use that kill to get his Trinity Force before I'm a Cutie Pie and then force an objective is when TSM will get the most bang for their buck out of that, but it will require some pretty intricate timing, so they need to communicate that. Right now he's got a 300 to 400 gold on I'm a Cutie Pie because of that kill.
Cutie Pie also going Sheen. Usually we see that Phage coming out first for protection. It's all about the damage. I want aggression this game. I love Wild Turtle, as he was saying in the pre-video. I've been itching to play this game, waiting intensely to make it happen. It's just you kind of envision everything that's going to, and you try to make it work. Right now, 300 gold in the lead. Things are working out for him. And I think it was Loco Doco and a lot of people saying Wild Turtle performs on the stage. So this is his time.
He always steps up when the pressure's on. It's almost like it doesn't phase him whatsoever. His first ever game in the LCS, when he plays Chaos, he got a pentakill.
Right.
He is a unique individual in that sense.
Indeed. Lizard's built up on both junglers. Gonna get some of the damage.
Oh, they caught something. He might.
I don't know if he has enough on the ground. He does not. That will not finish out Shifter. Great
wow.
job. Good attack.
Amazing. Could not get off his Lee Sin kick because of the timely flash by Shifter right there.
Big save. A lot of summoners down. They need to be making a return trip, but that's TSM's kind of first move here after getting that kill to start showing their strength. Nothing's going to come out of the mid lane, but we'll see Bjergsen start to not deny. He's going to maybe back. He's confusing me.
Yeah, he's trying to get some Wraith control right there, but I don't agree with that move. They did a nice gank to push Shifter back to base, yet it was actually Dignitas who gained better dragon control because of it. It kind of runs counter to what you would try to do normally from a mid lane gank. Let's see if they can get this dragon.
And Dig held the pink wards that are now down for quite a bit of time, making sure they would be secured long
He's
enough
gonna try and
to get the dragon. Kicks him back. That's going to go to Crumbs. Great grab. Can he safeguard out of this one? Looks like he'll ride the wave to safety. Kiwi Kid as well.
That is a huge win for Dignitas right there.
Yeah.
They burned multiple ultimates. Shifter did not die,
right.
and now they have the gold lead. Plus, Zion Spartan did not even have to come down from his perch in the top lane, farming on Nasus.
They didn't even get damage on the mid turret after they killed Shifter either, so really working out in the favor of Dignitas there. 400 gold in the lead is not much, but it is making the moves necessary to keep control of the mid game. We're getting there quite quick. See what happens. We have
they want to shut down this farmer
up. 13
right here.
minutes on the Wild Turtle, but battle in the top lane, level 8 to level 9.
Yeah, it's so hard to do damage to a Spectre's Cowl Nasus right there because of all the lifesteal he gets from his passive on that siphoning strike. It is the definition of a farm lane.
You don't say.
It's a good pick against Maokai. You can absolutely see it. The way Maokai builds, he cannot bully Zion out of anywhere.
Cleared by Bjergsen. Stays now 20 CS ahead of Shifter as he keeps that lane controlled. Dignitas' vision very nicely placed, though, all the way around that mid lane of Bjergsen and back to their side, but they're not utilizing it just yet. Playing slow off of that last dragon, trying not to lose another member to TSM's kill record here.
And unfortunately, TSM was unable to capitalize on that first blood that Wild Turtle got. We can now see the exact same itemization on Corki and Kog'Maw. No edge to be drawn from that first blood gold lead. And with the dragon gone, it means Dignitas is going to keep on this farm game. Even though it is a Corki versus Kog'Maw, that doesn't actually come into huge impact until really late in the game. We're talking 40, 50 minutes. Corki is very strong up until that point.
crazy how games change from game to game. Sometimes we've seen TSM or even Dignitas, and they're all over each other's boss. This time, they're just letting both Bjergsen and Shifter grab each one willy-nilly, no problem. Dragon was the only thing we fought over so far. The play not to lose mentality is definitely something that's on these players' mind. Zion Spartan, a little Spirit Fire, beating up Dyrus' feet. It looks like he's going to keep him in lane a little bit longer. Teleports are up on both of their side. So are the ultimates in most summoners, so we could see a fight coming up here quite soon. But if it's not... Oh! No! Maybe!
Oh no! What the heck? Oh, Kiwi Kid overextended his landing and broke it, so Crumbs couldn't make it in. Now they're on the run.
Crumbs has to throw down the ultimate. Can they get the chase? Scatter the weak just off the outside. Amazing's not going to be able to kick him in. What an unfortunate turn of events.
Crumbs has got to be real disappointed in Kiwi Kid right there, because if he did not take that hook in at that moment, the timing was just wrong, and it put Crumbs in a dangerous situation. He got collapsed upon by the rest of TSM.
Could have been a great play. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. 2-0 now for Team Solo Mid here, 16 in, and they're looking to get more. They feel like that pressure can be moved up a little bit. Try to take it. Give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Crumbs is up. It's still very early. Dignitas doesn't lose too much off of that. It's just members for now. Remember, they still have the Dragon. With those 2 kills, the game is completely even.
Double buffs onto Bjergsen is a dangerous thing, though.
Yeah.
I'm also a little bit surprised to see that Bjergsen has built Alacrity boots.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Speed.
I generally just think he's doing that to try and be a better dodge of bouncing bombs from Ship.
Makes sense.
Trying to just eliminate any type of harass that
too.
get down on him. And rockets, just those pesky little skill shots, giving him a slight little edge to dodge more of them. Let's check out Nasus, though, his stack count.
Where's he at?
He is at 225 by 17 minutes, which actually isn't incredible, but it's not awful either. If he keeps up at this pace, now he's gotten a lot of free time up here, he will become dangerous.
Give me an incredible number for right now.
Right now, an incredible number would be about 370. That's the highest I've seen. I've seen a few solo queue Nasus hit 400 by 20 minutes or more.
Yeah, those are the one-shot Nasus. That's fun to find them in the brush. Minute and a half on to Dragon. Let's see what these teams have thinking. Peer into their minds. Where are the wards going down? We see a ping already on the death brush. Crumbs is saying, I may need some assistance. Kiwi Kid, give me a lower tri-brush ward. We're going to go ahead and get this puppy cleared out. There's one from Amazing as he gets himself on the offensive side here, clearing out a dig pink ward for security. He's already put one down on the red, so he has Crumbs' path. TSM is really starting to get the forward wards down. I'm looking for him to pay off. Dyrus and Spartan again. Oh, going up to the top.
Yeah, they want to
take
kick back.
Quite a bit to take down the dog, especially when he's got 3 heads now.
Still didn't have to burn the Lee Sin ult, though, but it did get the flash out of Zion.
Yeah.
So if he runs a loop, he could come back for him. That's why Crumbs is coming up for backup right now.
They've done a great job by them with 50 seconds on the Dragon. That teleport being down if Zion Spartan was forced to go back would have been perfect. Or he would have been made to hold it for Dragon, forced back to teleport there.
Look at how much he healed is the biggest thing. Spirit Visage on
now
Nasus.
he has it?
Right now, it is just massive. But because of the gank pressure, he loses his turret.
So it seems like they've kind of left that Nasus to the wayside, which isn't a bad thing. He's still farming quite well. Crumbs is focused on other things on the map, making sure Shifter's blue is controlled, and really making sure that they can get some pick-off ganks. One has caused them some trouble. TSM is working off mistakes right now, and a good gank in the bottom lane. Both times Kiwi Kid kind of overextending here, but we know he can always get himself in trouble, but then he can make some amazing plays as well.
He is that playmaker right there. Even the amount of risk the Kiwi Kid will take for the smallest of things. It was a great pink ward kill.
Yep.
But it was dangerous, and now TSM going strong for that Dragon.
I don't know if Crumbs can get in range for this one. Looks like they want the fight. That's what TSM
They
wants.
used a scrying orb to scout that right there, so it did pull TSM a little bit off the Dragon. They're collapsing down a bit now. When will the top laners come in, or will they come in at all? Look at the poke from Dig. They have a strong advantage here.
They're walking each other down, actually, hand in hand here. There we go. Dyrus splits off. Zion Spartan takes the high road.
Dyrus definitely has better item thresholds right now. Rod of Ages Ninja Top versus just some components with a Sheen on Nasus. If it was a constructed team fight, I think TSM would win it here.
Turtle squeezing out the vision there with one last shot. Dyrus and Spartan are still going to party just north of the battlegrounds. 1950 on the clock. We're reaching 20 minutes. Somebody's been going for a Dragon. It's counting down. Very nice take here by Crumbs. They're just kind of working around Team Solo Mid to steal their jungle. but the turret goes down. That's not quite a good trade at all.
You're right, and Dig has not answered with a turret as of yet. Plus the Dragon going down. Dig would have to collapse in from all angles. A very difficult thing to do against Tidal Wave here.
It'd be a huge
This could be bloody
Inferno
right now.
They decide not to throw it. There's no follow. They're going to try to pull him off. Dragon
He's not going
still
together.
half health. They
He's in trouble.
Dyrus throws down the ultimate. It can't keep him alive long enough. That's Shifter coming up with a kill from the outside. As he does, oh, Crumbs was just waiting for dinner to be delivered on that one, but Shifter picks it up. 20 minutes on the clock. Dignitas somehow just skirt around the danger, losing a turret, picking up Dragon, and the red.
Oh, do they go?
Kiwi Kid collapses down, but the rest of the team
Hey,
did not hook in.
He got the Tidal Wave for it nonetheless.
Yeah.
So fantastic trading right there by Dignitas. They were able to force TSM into a decision, and then TSM didn't make that decision as a team. That has been the Achilles heel of TSM throughout this entire split. In games they lose, it's because one member goes in and the other guy watches. And that's exactly what happened here. Dyrus goes in on a Kiwi Kid while the rest of TSM was looking backwards at Kha'Zix. By the time they realize what's going on, Dyrus is dead and the fight is lost. Amazing can't run away because Crumbs is already in position, while the rest of TSM is off playing with Nasus. They couldn't make up their mind.
Very strong fight for Dignitas. It seemed very chaotic, but I guess that's where they thrive coming into these games. Able to understand the fight inside and out, and they turn TSM around on that one. Now 2-2. They grab a 2,000 gold lead with that second Dragon of the game. So very good control. Even them starting to lane swap, but keeping Kiwi Kid on the bottom side for Dragon control. That little push, even though TSM gets the first kill, Dig's not afraid to keep moving forward, pick up what they need. 240 to 219 in the mid lane as Bjergsen is still trying to put this game on his back for the team. Wild Turtle also has the potential to at 1-0-1, so not all hope is lost whatsoever. They got a chance.
An early Void Staff from Bjergsen as well. He's not necessarily super fed right now, so he's not going Death Cap. He's also, I think, wanting to have a little bit of choice in who he targets. Amazing, trying to make a big play.
Holy
Bjergsen!
Rudy, what a scat of the week! I'd say that was level. Double kill coming up for Bjergsen. That's going to be huge, and a 3-0-0 will definitely help open up the backpack he needs to put the team in. Lustboy's going to hit a bubble here. He tries to predict the Valkyrie bubble dash, but it's just going to be an easy cleanup kill. Wild Turtle picks up another one. They give it to the carries. Beautifully done.
What a play by Amazing. They might chew off a little bit more right here. They know Zion Spartan's not here, and they know they have a lot of kills. Pink Ward and the Baron Pit will reveal that they are doing it.
Yep. That's the stuff that we saw from Amazing in Europe. He's been lacking those initiations,
Teleport.
those headstrong plays. But he makes it again. TSM is going to be forced off that pressure of Teleport, the Mega Inferno. But hey, you got to try.
You got to try. That could have swung the game completely back, but now it's tied. Getting back to that play a little bit.
Yeah.
Amazing's initiation was exquisite. And then we mentioned the Void Staff on Bjergsen. The two people they killed were the Hexdrinker Kha'Zix and the Negatron Cloak support. So Bjergsen was able to cut through any MR they had put up and kill them even faster. Great kick by Amazing. Also used it to escape from the threat on the other side, and it baited Dig in a little bit. Crushed them down with Bjergsen, and then just a nice flank to finish it off. But the action continues.
Oh, Bjergsen trying to have it his way, but I don't think he's going to get out of this one alive. Double buffs going over to Shifter. He's going to be happy about that.
Ooh, so the mid lane battle continues. Look at these guys. 3-0-0 and a 4-1. That momentum swing, losing the double buffs, and a lot of pressure is massive.
One more. Ah!
Woo.
That's satisfying.
All right, let's check that guy right now.
What's he
in
at?
the 300s. He is at 315.
It's going to hurt.
On Nasus.
We haven't seen him bop anybody yet, though. It's going to be good.
Once he gets that Triforce.
I'm excited for a quick bop. Uh-oh. Yeah, lots of sweepers. It's only Turtle to have the Trinket Ward right now. Dyrus not doing so much bopping, but he's doing what he can here in the bottom.
He'll get there.
He'll get there. He's got the minion wave, actually. He could stay down there. They have a ward on it, at least towards mid, and they have that Dragon Ward, so this could be a good split push with his teleport up.
Right now, it's kind of about playmaking. Amazing has been the facilitator of pretty much all the positive moments for TSM right here with his trusty old Lee Sin pick that Dignitas willingly gave up with a Nunu ban thrown in there. We have to remember that. Dignitas wanted to play against Amazing's Lee Sin.
Allowing that pick through, something they thought they could handle for now. They have on the objectives, but the ability of him to create and initiate fights Wasn't something they were really anticipating.
He angered the Baron for some reason. That's too bad. The sustain of Nami will make that not too bad of a thing. The farm will continue a little bit for Dig here. There's a chance they're waiting for a little bit of buff respawn. TSM has a very strong vision control over the Baron. It's a matter of whether or not they're willing to dare risk the poke from Dig if they start playing around that area, because it's very, very high. Plus the Dragon's up in 1 minute. Dig has to get some type of vision control back, though, just so they know.
Whoa, Dyrus is pretty dead here.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to collapse on this. They do ping mid, though, so Team Solo Mid's going to try to get under the skin of Dignitas. Actually,
you can see how tanky he is.
They're going to come back
God.
and try to save Dyrus. Wow. Wait a minute. No, just on the edge. Preventing forest fires.
There's that first pick, Maokai. You make a play by just kind of walking away at this point. Unreal that they weren't able to finish him off right there. He got enough auto attacks off to proc his passive, and then the summoner heal came in to help speed him away at the end by Wild Turtle.
That's one of those leave me's. Wait a minute, I can live. You should come and help.
Yeah. I'm dead. No, definitely not. Let us save you. They were half a map away when he started that escape.
Do what you got to do. Dyrus staying consistent, staying alive. 38.7 to 39.8. The gold really means nothing in this game. It's all up to who can really make the right plays. TSM has made a few to put themselves back on what could be the lead, but they're just down in gold. They have some great control of the map right now, though.
And Dignitas completely forfeits the Dragon because of that missed play on Dyrus. They overextended themselves. They had to back afterwards, and TSM was able to just take that, which brings the gold to tied. Such a close game.
Bjergsen's also able to put a needlessly large rod after that Void Staff, so he's only doing that much more damage. Slowly creeping in. Look at this TSM. Very headstrong in their movements here. They're going to be able to now take blue. Dignitas is losing control, but they're trying to get behind. What?
Well,
this is clearing out wards right now.
You know what?
Cutie Pie is going to be going the long way.
He's going to get away. They're not willing to chase him that far because of all the lane pressure they would lose. Cutie Pie does the damnedest things. Let's see how they play off this, because Kazakh is actually trying to counter jungle a little bit during all this.
Close. Crumb's got some good clear on the vision of Baron, so now they have to re-ward up. He kind of gave him a few more things to think about before they could really set things into motion. They're on the back foot, but they're trying to get their foot in the door.
It's a very open game right now with the outer tier turrets being gone in most lanes. We really have to start thinking about team fights and late game scalings right here. But it's very difficult in the context of this match because there's so much pick potential coming out of the Syndra. And honestly, when Dyrus got caught by Dignitas, the fact that they were not able to kill him 1v3, despite having a substantial amount of time, is very troubling. Whereas TSM will not have that problem with a late game Kog'Maw and Syndra as far as killing a singular target.
See, we got a full Triforce here for Zion Spartan. He's taking quite a bit of damage from Dyrus.
He's just respecting the gank right there. He could have stood toe-to-toe, but he wanted to put some distance away from the tree and continue farming his Siphoning Strike.
This is the team kind of saying, kite, not fight, calm it down, let Zion Spartan push, and we'll see if we can get the pressure of TSM off in the other lanes. See if Zion can create some trouble here. Him and Dyrus, they're going to be having some fun here in the bottom lane. Zion's got pretty good wards behind him, but Dyrus can stay here all day.
They both have teleport.
Right.
Yet Dyrus can interrupt Zion Spartan's teleport, and the same is not true the other way around. The way that's okay for Nasus is he kills turrets so damn fast that if Dyrus teleports without him, it's basically all the way down to the inhibitor.
I don't think he's going to back. Oh, he did. Wow, he's going to be able to crush that turret.
Well, he backed to bought some home guards,
yeah.
So he's going back as fast as possible.
See if that turret stands. Kablam!
I'm going to go with not for long.
No, he's going to take it down. He won't even leave on this one. Zion Spartan's taking a good bit of damage. The team's going to be forced to fight. Amazing over the wall into a safeguard. It's going to be a bubble, but he actually dodges it to the left. He cannot get out. Wild Turtle was just on the edge. Cutie Pie, he gets hit. The ultimate follows him. all the way to his death. Crumbs is taking an ignite as he walks out of this one, and TSM works a big fight off of losing a turret in bottom lane.
TSM definitely has a better initiation potential than Dignitas right there. They get the catch early onto Dig and turn a positive fight off of it, but you can see still how close it is because of the return damage that Dignitas was able to throw back, getting a kill nearly 2.
Really great play by Dyrus as well to keep on Zion Spartan so he couldn't teleport into the fray. Just see this one more time.
Yeah, just the start of the catch.
So persistent.
It was a stun as well as a landed Sonic Wave by Amazing. So a pretty easy kill on a Kiwi Kid, but then at that point, you can see there's still damage on the other side. If not for the bubble of Lust Boy, they wouldn't have gotten the second kill. So actually, all 3 people there that were alive for TSM participated heavily.
See what we got. Checking out the mini-map. Wards around Baron are still up. Very dangerous for either team to do. They have some crazy AoE to be working with on both sides here. More single target damage from TSM, and that's what makes it scary because Bjergsen, he's just going to keep throwing it out. We already saw the magic resistant laden champions go down, as we saw earlier, but still on the Tide Gold, Tide turrets. The next kill really opens up the map. The next fight really opens up the map. And with Dignitas being able to work a 1-2-1 or a 1-3-1 as they do, it would really work in their favor for them to win next.
You can see that this Zion Spartan bottom lane is a pretty normal thing for them. They don't have a way of starting fights with their team. So they have to rely on Zion Spartan winning against Dyrus and then being able to turn fights if TSM tries to initiate on them.
Right.
If Zion can't push Dyrus out of the lane, Dignitas doesn't actually have a way of winning this game.
It's going to be quite tough. Kind of set in order now what they have to do. It's all up to Zion Spartan. We've seen him taking 3 people on at inhibitors before. He's not in his full form yet. He's still got, looks like, his Glacial Shroud, Frozen Heart to go.
I'm looking at Dyrus' items, though. Like, he's not going to be able to push Dyrus down.
No, already with the free stats from coming Rod of Ages.
And unless he can get minions at a turret, he can't just soul the turret with no minions. This is looking pretty good for TSM if they play their cards right and don't over-initiate on a fight.
Well, they themselves have a pretty tricky initiation. It's been up to Amazing, which they've been just that.
Because the main initiation from TSM is off dealing with Zion Spartan.
Yeah. Slow moving here. You can just see how dark it is right now. Kiwi Kid, and that's gonna be it.
Kiwi Kid
played from the Fog of War.
That was, yes, it was a vision play by TSM, but Dignitas had wards at Baron, so they knew it was safe. The only thing TSM was doing there was trying to get a catch. The fact that Kiwi Kid gave him that opportunity is a big mistake.
And you see how scary that catch can be. They weren't really even in range for it, but they made it possible. Perfect use of the utility, consecutive crowd control, and they make their way off with another kill. Zion
Spartan. No.
He could probably run for quite a while.
Yeah, he doesn't have armor right now. Even though Cog does do a fair bit of magic damage. The Baron feint right there by Dig to pull them back up. Let's see how much Baron damage they can do. TSM's on the run. This could be big. Fake.
El Fakerino. Can they get it? Oh! Thwarted. That's all it takes sometimes. It's just a little foresight. Throw down a ward. They have the vision.
Great
That's some
poke.
Good damage coming from Shifter. He also has a blue buff, so that'll be continuous. Dragon's alive. So is Baron. I have to really pick and choose now. It looks like mid lane's going to be dictated by TSM a little bit, at least for wave control. We'll see if it gives Dig something to think about.
I think it absolutely should right here.
Yep.
Kog'Maw attacking faster and faster. Nasus getting more and more Q stacks. He's at 441 right now, 33 minutes in. So getting a little bit more boppy, as you would say.
It hurts a little bit.
Boppy enough to take Turtle out of that.
Today I learned dragons fight butterflies very well.
Oh no, and they know how low Kog'Maw is, so they can force this Baron right now. Nasus kills Baron so fast, especially if he ults.
Not gonna ult.
They're afraid of the TSM collapse.
He's like, I'm out.
Getting all excited. Crumbs actually has to burn his ultimate as well.
Both teleports were quickly used there. You can see the cooldown's just about the same. Looks like Dyrus actually hit up mid-turret, so he'll be better off on that one. And I don't think they have too much control here. Back to cleanup mode. Both teams really testing each other here to the max. A lot of tension here at the Baron pit. Dragons have been somewhat back and forth. Did grab a few. TSM as well. Looks
Wow.
like Dignitas
With the ward
tried
inside.
their hand again.
They know TSM just went back to
So
base. This
far.
timing is actually perfect. Did TSM just give up a Baron by having improper back timings?
Oh,
it's going to be up to a steal. It's going to be up to a steal.
50-50s are so scary, but it's going to go in the favor of Crumbs. He locks it down. He's going to follow Amazing. He wants dessert on this one. Team's going to be able to help him get out of that one. Amazing makes it out.
There's
Limping.
Bjergsen, though.
Who's he throwing it on? Kiwi Kid goes down. He gets the death hook, but he stays there. And it looks like they are going to be able to disperse just enough. Can Crumbs get out as well? They are dropping Baron off of members of Dignitas right now, making the best of a bad situation.
It's only a 3 out of 5 Baron. It was not followed by a team fight, so that is actually not nearly as valuable as one would think. Not game-changing.
Right.
What could be, though, is this catch.
Oh, word.
Wow.
That was about 500 combined health between those two. One rocket. Is there another one from PewDiePie? Oh, it's the save. He gets himself on the heel. Very nicely done. Dyrus gets himself caught, though, in a little bit of a pickle here. He tries to dance it out with 3 members of Dignitas, and they're each going to get a piece of that one. Amazing and Turtle. He finally gets a bit of help on that dragon, but what chaos.
Look at the counter, though, right there by TSM. Even though Dignitas had a pretty nice move, TSM came right back, got some kills, and picked up a dragon. Dragon Gold late game is somewhat comparable to Baron Gold when you consider the kills, so the game is still close right here. You can notice Amazing goes in. Crumbs is a little bit overhyped, right? Yeah, overzealous is a perfect word for that. Jumping in and flashing away is something he has done twice here. Yep. And Kiwi Kid is definitely reverting on some poor tendencies from the past of dying too much. Could not have asked for more out of game 1 of this TSM Dig series, though.
So good. Everybody playing to an amazing level right now, as well as Amazing himself. Good initiations coming from that. And everybody's got pretty much the items they want here towards the partially mid to late game. Plays to be made. Bjergsen's come out big for Team Solo Mid as he was thought to. Brought over by TSM quite a while ago. Taking down the mid lane, failing to choose a Reginald and still blocking it down for the team.
Bjergsen is a monster right now on Syndra. If TSM ends up pulling this game out, I would not be surprised to see Dignitas banning Syndra the next game. Because the Ziggs as the last pick against Syndra, while Ziggs has been good for them, Bjergsen has been better. However, they still have to push against Ziggs, which is no easy task.
You look at those stats or the kind of play style they bring out. Bjergsen's the one in the face of everyone getting a double kill. Shifter's kind of got his janitor bucket, and he says, I'm going to get a quadra kill on this one because I'm going to play it, you know, skill shot statistically and stand here. Definitely different play styles. So we'll be seeing the kills coming out of Bjergsen first for sure. That 8-1-1, 401 CS with Zanias to make plays already out. TSM's going to follow behind him. Crumbs still trying to make calls from his side as well. Doing quite well as the Maul Morty finished up. We don't see that too often, but he's still trying to put in damage on somewhat of a tanky build.
You can see how back and forth this game has been with that gold time
that.
gap as well. Dignitas trying to poke out TSM right now, actually. They do not have the initiation, but they do have the superior level of poke. And at this point, Zion Spartan has good positioning on Dyrus. So if TSM pulls back to help Zion or help Dyrus out, they would lose a turret on the other side. Not to mention the Baron regen still on people is helping extend this siege.
Like we said before, it's not something they're able to use, which means TSM definitely has a strong footing in this game. Baron was kind of stripped off of some members of Dignitas. Now they're going to put all members in the mid lane. Still got that Dyrus versus Zion Spartan fight going in the bottom lane. This turret almost about to drop here. PewDiePie doesn't want to give up.
This is the Dig strategy coming in big.
That's what we were talking about before.
Inhibitor turret. He's going to lose his life, but that is worth.
Well, what's the team
counter
do
push
in the mid lane?
He didn't even die. And they can't continue the chase because of the map breaker by Dig.
Cat and mouse. There we go. It begins. Dignitas is going to try to start spreading TSM thin. But like you said, Jack, Zion's not winning those fights yet. He's only able to cheekily get in and take an inhibitor. So once all that's gone, maybe they can do it top lane, but they're going to be pushed easier.
With the turret, so if Dyrus can't defend the turret, he sure as hell can't defend the inhibitor, which doesn't hit that. That full tank Maokai is useless against Zion Spartan unless they have backup.
And he bit a Thornmail. I mean, Zion's not even hitting you.
Yeah, he just hits the buildings.
Yeah.
This is very similar to what ends up happening in Jax versus Renekton solo lanes that Zion is actually very familiar with.
Right.
It's just a different variation of the same play. And it's something that Zion has been doing for years.
I love it. 40 minutes in, we are practically dead even on gold here. Just one more turret in favor of Dig. What a game.
Just need to note, 537 bonus damage on Siphoning Strike from Nasus right now. Usually, Nasus can get to about 400 or 500, and then the team fight phase starts, and he's unable to continue farming. But because this is highly organized 5v5 play,
not today.
It's been a consistent 4-1 that they've been able to isolate for him, and he's able to continue this push.
It's been quite crazy. We talked about it a little before, just taking down structures by himself, and so far we've seen it once in this game. Minute and 30 on both objectives in the game right now. Obviously,
this could be a problem. Oh, they get Cutie!
Oh, Bjergsen could not lock down an ultimate. He didn't want to get close enough on that. Could have been huge for TSM right there. Dignitas peeling away accordingly, but that's the initiation. Dig has to kind of watch this now.
Yeah.
Like we said, they don't have an initiation of theirs.
There's a really good chance this game will come down to whether or not Dignitas can get vision near Baron, because plays like that put Dignitas at such risk. They don't really get to choose their own fights. So if they don't have vision, they have to walk in on TSM. And unless they get some good poke down on TSM, they can't get vision back on the Sparent. It's incredibly important that TSM stand their ground here, because they don't have actually too long to do this. Zion Spartan will just keep walking closer and closer to that inhibitor in the bottom lane.
That's such an incredible amount of poke to see the composition. Bjergsen hits a Scatter of the Week, and then you get a Living Artillery vision in that Fog of War in the follow-up. What a composition they can use if the timing is right. Quick wave clear in the mid lane. Lots of fun in the bottom one still. Between Zion Spartan and
he's holding them back, actually. Dyrus has not allowed Zion to get that position in the bottom lane. As long as Dyrus can keep the wave that far away, it's okay for buying time.
Well, it's about to be time for another Baron. Both teleports are up. Last time we saw this, Dyrus stayed in the face of Zion Spartan, so they couldn't teleport up to it, and it was a back and forth. Then another instance where Dignitas got the Baron, but TSM was able to strip 2 members. This game is still anybody's here. 65,000 across the board at 42 minutes. TSM now starting to deny those buffs even more, though. That's going to make Shifter's wave clear harder. Not as hard this far in the game with those items, but little things that they need to pressure that base.
We can actually see both mid laners going with a defensive 6th item.
Right.
Oftentimes you will see them go with a DFG or a Lichbane if you're Syndra or Ziggs, respectively, but they're kind of needing to respect the fact that this game is a game of picks, and they need to be able to have some resiliency. Those should be Banshee's Veils when they complete them.
Amazing flashing out of red there. Little
Zion is in position right now. They're forcing TSM into a play.
Here it is. This is going to go down. We saw the turret go down. Inhibs, not so much regenning. That's going to be crushed very nicely in by Zion Spartan.
Try as you might, Dyrus, you're not going to get him.
So now that Super Minion's in the bottom lane, he is trying to piece out from that situation. Dyrus is going to try to stick with him for the time being, or he should, to keep that teleport from coming in. And now TSM is going to try to get as much vision as they can here.
What a just game right now. TSM going for this, but Dig doesn't have vision control.
I love it. Let's do it. 43 minutes in, that's what it looks like for Dignitas. They're going to have to waltz themselves straight into the pit. 4,200 HP on Baron.
He's going to try and steal.
Crumbs is just on the outside. His flash is up for an in and out if he wants to do it. TSM peels off. Kiwi Kid, he grabs Turtle in the front of the fight, but he goes down. Nami's able to take him. Baron's still up. No, Baron goes down, and it goes to Dignitas.
Everyone on TSM peeled out, and Crumbs jumped in to solo the last few bits of health away from Baron. They take 1 death, don't lose a team fight, get the Baron, and remove TSM's threat for the next 7 minutes.
You have no idea. I've said it before. Baron for Dig is like a choose-your-own-adventure book. You have no idea what's going to happen. So many times we choose the good part of the story. This time we get it again. 12-5. TSM tries to recuperate a bit with Dragon Gold, and they do. Still very close in gold.
Look at this. They leave Baron at around 1,500 to 2,000 health, and Crumbs has the confidence that he can finish it. He knows he can get the ISO damage with his Q, and then he gets some assistance damage from the rest of his team while they were off killing Kiwi Kid. So Kiwi Kid was the decoy right there for the big, giant Baron.
Wow, what a game so far. Persistence from both teams. And it's not, the shot calling doesn't really happen when you come down to the objectives. It's who really has the biggest balls to go into the fight with.
It's a little bit true, and it's tricky because TSM does have a few decision-making mistakes when they've been in the 5v5 team, but that's actually not what this game has been about. Because when they've struggled, it's Dyrus going in and the team not following. Dyrus isn't allowed to do any of that.
Right.
He is the full-time defender for Zion Spartan. Maybe Wild Turtle could defend against Nasus, and I kind of feel like TSM has to switch up their strategy here because we've been at it for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
If they continue this same split push, let Zion take things while the rest of Dig kind of roams the map, it's not going well. But at the same time, the game is still close. I really don't know what to say here. It's Dignitas's chance to try and make an aggressive move, which is hard with no real initiation.
Well, the dominoes are slowly falling, but they're always falling against TSM here. Dignitas has been able to keep whittling away at small structures, still have Zion Spartan in the bottom lane, pushing an already pushed inhibitor just to give Dyrus hell here and keep him out of lane. He wants the super minions to the Nexus turret.
He can actually pressure Nexus turrets here.
Yeah.
Especially with the Baron buff on people. He's at 612 on bonus siphoning strike damage. It's rather scary. Eventually, he'll be able to hit through Dyrus's hundreds of armor. 373 armor on Maokai, by the way.
This is also that kind of game that creates the situation that you have Dig on red side now. Do you really want to face a Nasus next game as well if this is going to happen? Now, does this become a ban in your structure of what you thought was going to happen this week?
Is Maokai still a pick that is first pickable?
Right.
And there will be no room for like, oh, I guess we don't have to deal with that again because they're never switching sides in this series.
It's going to be quite intense and for something for TSM to think about. Amazing versus Crumbs is our featured matchup here to reflect on that quickly in this top lane push. So far, both junglers kind of having a back and forth game. Nobody having a huge impact. Amazing did help get the first gank in the bottom lane. But nonetheless, it's Dignitas who's taken and run with their kills.
Look at this. They have to bring Wild Turtle back to help out, which was the big reason Dignitas was able to push in for the end of that turret. A lot of control being gained by that monstrous Nasus.
So with their pressure, Dig doing a great job of not allowing themselves to get caught. Any bubbles, any Nami ultimates, any scatter the weaks that Erickson was really zeroing out people with. He's only gotten an assist since we saw him get that last double kill after his Void Staff. He's built all these items just off of everything that's been happening with objectives.
And Dignitas is successfully avoiding him.
Yeah.
And they're building as many Banshees Veils as possible to try and make Syndra catches possible. They already have 3. Crumbs will be the 4th. Kiwi Kid will apparently just continue to get blown up, but Dignitas is okay with this because it's actually working for them right now.
It's right. It's the times he makes plays and the time he dies making a play. It happens. You got to even it out somehow.
2 Scrying Orbs as well on Dig. It's because they cannot maintain ward control over Baron. So they're really just needing to use missiles and Scrying Orbs to try and get it.
God, Kiwi Kid is so meta. What a guy. 48 on the clock. 74 in the gold chambers for just about both teams. They go ahead and clear out these wards. So TSM not afraid to get themselves pushed up into a dangerous position, but they're also not throwing down. Okay, there we go. I was going to say, you're not putting any breadcrumb wards as you leave. You get a good amount of vision. Hopefully they can start running across the front side of the base and spread Dignitas thin.
I do have to say, I have not seen a game remain this close in gold for this long in a really long time. I can't remember the last time this has happened. It has been completely, pretty much everything has been traded in some way, shape, or form. The only thing that wasn't just recently traded was the Baron that Dignitas was able to get, but even that was traded for a kill, never mind. They are trading everything.
Dig really hasn't worked the Baron into any of their advantages. Zion Spartan was consistently pushing the bottom lane. It's just kind of something that came to be. It wasn't a result of. You can see up and down.
The largest difference was 2000, and it's happened twice.
2000 is the swing of a dragon fight, Baron fight, what have you. These teams know it can change that fast. Still at the end of the game here, level 18s across the board, except for your supports at 16. So everybody's fighting with max. Not max items, though. We still have wards filling up a few slots, so a little ways to go. TSM starting to put their foot down. Now taking out the outer ring of turrets.
This is a teleport.
Always going for the inhib. How's about a backdoor on the first game of the playoffs?
That'll be down pretty quick.
Throw the fire on it.
Doesn't help in the slightest. Style points.
Just getting his sheen out if he can before his keys.
657 bonus damage. And he's gone. See, people were expecting him to solo that turret. But without minions, even Nasus cannot do that.
Oh, he's going to get a nice push on that lane, though. Actually, now they're going to deny blue. They know TSM is kind of on the ring around here. And they're going to go ahead and nicely take that. Shifter was denied his blue for quite a while, but they've sufficed. And now he starts to get Bjergsen. What a game. 520 to 484 in that mid lane CS. And we just actually had Crumbs hit 200 in the jungle.
It's probably a season high for him, farm-wise. And it's a definite adjustment that Dignitas had to make, giving him a little bit more gold so he can make an impact in team fights, knowing how Shifter always plays around the back in team fights. So a good move there by Dig to give Crumb some more farm. And this game has to break at some point, because it's just been nothing but trading. But the later we go, the longer the death timers become. They're actually at their max point right now. Death timers cannot get longer than they are right now. And whether or not Dignitas can cycle a second inhibitor, or whether or not TSM can actually find a catch which breaks the inhibitor wall, I think the first time that happens will be the winner of the game.
Quite intense, even for somebody to get taken down by the Bjergsen ultimate. It'll definitely give enough ground to win something. Take a structure. That Locket of the Iron Solari on Kiwi Kid could be the thing that saves them, but Bjergsen needs to find that attack. You've heard him say before, when TSM had an Elise and a Thresh, we'll just keep throwing hooks out and cocoons and we'll catch somebody. Not an option this time.
We also mentioned the Kog'Maw versus Corki matchup, even though this isn't really about team fights, really swings in the late game, which is where we are right now. Wild Turtle will soon be at 6 items, so will I'm a Cutie Pie. And if they ever get into a bit of a battle against each other, Turtle will shred, probably in 2 or 3 hits.
Why is Turtle not going for an Infinity Edge in any play?
Not sure. Actually, it's just a matter of getting the components at the right time.
All right. TSM on Baron. Dignitas.
Right. Both Scrying Orbs are actually down right now, which means Dignitas kind of has to check with their faces. But it's all about how long they can hold off, because Zion is actually pressuring Nexus turrets right now. Dyrus, he's trying to keep these Super Minions
starting to win this.
But eventually he'll kill Dyrus. The next time Super Minions get there, it's trouble.
Oh, on the Grunts. He doesn't want it. Good communication by TSM as well.
He would have sucked him right into the team if he tried to take that. This is where things get really interesting, because Dig is trying to take Baron pressure as well as base pressure right now. And TSM keeps running back and forth. Dyrus has no matter. That Super Minion isn't going down. Nexus turret pressure.
Oh my gosh!
As soon as the minion dies, he's going to lose some damage. But I think he's got it.
He's got it crushed on this next hit. That's one Nexus turret down. This is pretty much written in stone now. If Dignitas continues to play like this, Dyrus out of mana, he's relying on auto attacks. No Wither there. Zion Spartan's having a field day right now.
All right, he's going to try and get out of here. He did it last time. No dice, but that is the Baron for Dig.
He did it last time. Oh, not this time. Wow.
Yeah, that's the play. It's
Zion.
A long play. But it's exactly what Dignitas had planned from the moment they saw Dyrus pick Maokai.
Zion Spartan's split pushing instills attention Dignitas disorder in teams, and they just have to follow him. They can't do much. 13-5 right now in the game. 53 minutes. I cannot believe how back and forth this is going. More now for Dignitas as they gain a bit of ground. Probably feeling very confident with Zion Spartan this big. Doing it just like he did on in his Coast games. Crazily pushing up a lane all by himself and almost just winning it.
Yeah, Turtle did pick up an Infinity Edge, by the way. He was sitting on a lot of gold. He probably heard you. No, he didn't. But now they get to push back. The death timers are incredibly long right here. They might break this inhibitor wall. It's just a matter of the Ziggs poke. Can he clear the minis? He's got ult right now.
See, this is TSM going really hard. And you get down to that little bit of the turret when your wave's coming back and you see the other team go hard.
Did you see that ping? There's a ping on the ward at TSM's inhibitor, and Zion is going there as soon as he spawns. He's going to take that inhibitor down again.
Let's see if Dignitas actually pushes out of the base, or they hold this and make it look interesting.
Does he go?
Because if they die, they're going to lose mid as well.
He's thinking about it.
Zion Spartan's holding. There's a minion wave that's going right past him. He may actually wait, because you can see the same wave in your base, but they have vision.
This is so tricky.
It's crazy.
TSM wants to break the wall right now. If they can get a kill or push in 5v4, they can theoretically end the game, which is stopping Zion from being able to teleport in right now. The fear of the 5v4, because finally TSM has Dyrus with with the team.
Dyrus gets hit up. This might be the time. Now he starts to teleport. He goes in. Dyrus is going to have to get out with the team. He leaves the Slicing Maelstrom on. Crumbs goes for the speed up on the ultimate.
Dyrus
really be able to jump in. That's going to be a lockdown in the inhibitor. The Amazing gets hit. Kiwi Kid's a little too far here. He's going to have to try and get himself out. Living Artillery and the rest of the shots of fire.
Zion is just killing the Nexus.
Zion Spartan can easily, single-handedly win the game by himself. 54-54 on the clock. The Nexus turret. He has minions. It's going to be on to the next.
Amazing.
Kind of amazing. He misses the shockwave, or the sonic wave, I should say. And he hits the Tempest. The cripple may slow the attack, but it's not on that anymore.
Oh my God.
He's going to be able to hit it. A few last hits.
He got it.
Oh my God. He wins the game.
Oh my God.
All by himself. The inhibitors and the Nexus turrets. Zion Spartan wins the game for Dignitas.
He had 172 health by the time he got that last hit on the Nexus. Amazing needed only to use his ultimate and he would have stopped the push. But he didn't do it in time because that last siphoning strike from Anasis with, I can't even check because I'm inspecting, 690 bonus damage on his siphoning strike. And by the way,